I'm Tanya Coogan.
I'm Don Coogan. This is Ansley.
This is Zoe. And this is Colin. Ansley and Zoe both attend Bal Swan and have attended Bal Swan since they first enrolled in the 2-year-old program. I found out about Bal Swan back in the early 90s. I was getting my undergraduate degree in teaching, and I had a professor who wanted to show us what inclusive education looked like. So he made us drive up to the school in Broomfield called Bal Swan, and we were able to observe the teachers, talk with them, and just watch them interact with the kids. And what we saw was really inspirational. I'll never forget it, were these kids who were of all abilities being educated in the same classroom together, and clearly their individual needs were being met. The kids were so accepting and compassionate to each other, as were all of the staff of the entire school, and I just kept that in the back of my mind of this amazing place for kids.
Shortly after the girls were born, they were in NICU being kind of administered to. They both had some difficulty breathing because they were born early, and the pediatrician who was on call had come in and started talking to me about some of the traits or some of the observations he noted when he was examining Zoe, and he believed that there was a possibility that she might have Down syndrome.
Zoe has had 7 different surgeries in her 4 years of life, most of them occurring in the first 3 years, which was very stressful for the family.
When we first started thinking about Bal Swan, it was we brought the girls home from NICU, and I had reached out to Brian just to talk about, we wanted to make sure we knew about the inclusive education that they offered, and that it would be, a very welcoming environment for both the girls. And they would, because of Zoe's hearing loss, they would do whatever they could to help assist in that. And, if that meant learning sign language, anything that they could do, they would reach out and do that for us. To have those reassuring comments from Brian and from Bal Swan, we knew this was exactly where the girls needed to be.
One of the major problems for Zoe was that she had a hip that was continually dislocating. So in order to repair that, it required an intensive surgery, and then she was placed in a body cast from her chest to her ankles for what was to be about 3 months. We were able to bring Zoe in this gigantic purple cast, and she was able to participate with all of the kids. They would bring in scooters so she could lay on them and try and scoot around the classroom so that she could be more independent. And then they would help me with propping her up and having her do what all the kids were doing, just so she could be a part of it.
Zoe receives speech therapy services at Bal Swan, and to work on intelligibility and just overall vocabulary and producing sounds. And she's so excited to go see Melissa, and it's the highlight of her day. And she's even getting to the point where she can say Melissa, and you understand she's saying Melissa, and she's just really excited about it. And we've just seen a tremendous amount of growth.
Ainsley has gotten so much out of Bal Swan. She is a typical 4-year-old, and what I've seen, or how I've seen her transform at Bal Swan it's amazing. She is a much more social little girl. She was kind of a shy little girl, but she's really come out of her shell. She knows how to problem solve. And she also, I think, just has a general sense of compassion for the world. And I attribute this a lot to just the environment at Bal Swan.
Ansley just loves going to Bal Swan, and in fact, when she's preparing, or when she wakes up in the morning and knows that she's going to school, the first question out of her is always, "Is today a Bal Swan day?" And she just always looks forward and counts the days to when's the next Bal Swan day.
Bal Swan is a great school that encourages kids to be compassionate, accepting, and tolerant of one another, all the while they're learning new things and preparing themselves for the next phase in their life.
Bal Swan provides just a nurturing environment for all children, and celebrates all abilities that children bring to the classroom in a warm and loving environment where the kids are excited to be there, and the parents are glad that they're dropping their kids off, and because they know the kids are excited to be there.